Alright, so once again we branched out from doing our usual shot-for-shot stuff and did an original song. You guys seem to really like the original Iron Man song that we did a little while back, so the next one I've been really wanting to do is a song from my favorite movie, Back to the Future. So this is how we made it.
We're having major flashbacks here now.
So the first step is writing the song. Last time we did sort of an epic, slow piano ballad that Tony Stark sings to Iron Man. This time I wanted to take a scene from the movie and pretend that what if this movie was actually a Broadway musical? What would this scene look like and what would it sound like? So I took the characters of Doc and Marty and looked at this exact scene when Marty is trying to give the letter to Doc to get him to prevent getting shot in the future, but Doc doesn't want to read it, and I wanted to turn that into a Broadway musical song.
Great Scott, will this work out or not?
And I don't have any formal music training, and I didn't have like really a background in musical theater, but I love Broadway musicals, and I really wanted to fashion this song after songs that you might find in Les Miserables or Sweeney Todd or Phantom of the Opera, and really make a great duet where these guys are singing together.
You gotta read it. No, I refuse. I won't accept the responsibility.
So since these guys are singing together, I really did want to focus on what's a good song that has a lot of back and forth. I was thinking a lot about the confrontation from Les Miserables between Jean Valjean and Javert when they're kind of singing at each other.
You know nothing of my life.
They're not really singing together and harmonizing, so it's kind of a counter melody. So I've never written anything like that before, but it was really challenging and really fun. And then the final note, they finally come together, and then we have a nice harmony. They're singing two different notes, harmonizing on that last big note.
What I did too is I pulled those specific scenes from the movies and I just kind of typed out the exact quotes, you know, that even if your intentions are good, it can backfire drastically.
Even if your intentions are good, it can backfire drastically.
You know, the consequences could be disastrous. All those specific lines, I'm trying to now incorporate them into the lyrics.
So once the song was written, I sat down to record it.
Now this song is not going to be solely piano based like the other one. I'm writing it, you know, on the piano and on the keyboard, but it's going to be using more traditional orchestral sounds, so eventually it's going to sound more like... So use some timpanis and use some strings and use like a big, kind of a big Broadway sound.
So I'm performing these instruments live through the keyboard. I'm not using any kind of MIDI sequencing or anything. I just hit record on a blank track and then I just perform a particular instrument, like some of the high string sounds. Then I'm done, go back, record another layer of low string sounds, or the next instrument and the next instrument. So I just keep stacking them up and layering them like that. Once the music was all set, I recorded my track. I sang the part of Marty.
Wait, Doc, you've got to read my letter first.
I really do multiple takes on these. I can't just sing the whole thing perfectly all through at one time. So I just record it little by little and then kind of edit together all the best bits. I did a temp track with me doing Doc Brown's voice so I could kind of hear what it was going to sound like with their voices interacting and overlapping.
There's a cool note there. I will get it.
So once I felt like it was pretty good, it was time to bring Piotr in. He's the one who does our amazing Doc Brown impression using our Back to the Future scene.
Have you done much singing before? I should have asked you that before. We did this.
That's a good idea. I've never sung ever in my life.
Oh, this episode is canceled.
So once again, just laying down lots and lots of takes.
And then later, I'll just like literally sit through and pick like, there's a good one, there's a good one.
Great Scott! Great
We tried to find what was a good mix between, is it the Doc Brown impression that's more important, or is it getting the notes right?
The future!
Like, even if it comes out of the impression a little bit, I think that's kind of part of the joke. Like, why is Doc singing like a Broadway song? So like, if we can get certain notes,
but to get the character.
but then there are certain places where you can kind of come out of it, you know, like,
obviously,
disastrous is just a full-on impression, it's not even singing.
I want to try it,
Yeah,
as,
feel it out.
as singy as we possibly can.
Information about the future is extremely dangerous.
I'm sorry. That sounded fucking hilarious. Even me listening to me sing that for the first time, that is ridiculous.
Alright, so I've recorded Piotr doing his vocals, and we just did it many, many times. So I've got like 100 files here, all different layers throughout the song, and I'm going to go through and make one solid, clean vocal track.
No, I refuse! I won't accept the responsibility!
Love it.
Now that the song was completed, it was time to shoot the music video for this. I just finished recording this song this morning. We recorded the vocals last night, finished mixing it today, and here we are recording the video. That's how fast this is going down. So, you know it all by heart? There goes his heart. We're kind of already prepped for it because we already have these costumes and some of the props. If you want to see how we made the outfits and the flux capacitor and stuff, take a look at the behind the scenes from our shot for shot Back to the Future scene for all of that.
Hey Doc, I got your hair.
Thank you, Marty.
I hardly throw anything away that we've used on the show, so I still had the clock tower in the attic. It was too cool to throw away.
A couple extra spiders, but overall, in good shape.
So just pulled that thing out and hung it up again. We just set the lights up and have a flashlight flashing for lightning. Last time we rented like an industrial wind machine, and this time we just went with a piece of cardboard. So in every take, Ben would just sit there waving this cardboard, and it got pretty tiresome after a while, but it really did push a lot of wind.
It's really distracting when there's like 5 things around.
In order to shoot a music video along to a track that's already recorded like this and make sure everything lines up, we just put the song on a little iPod and play it back through a speaker so that we can hear the finished song on set, and then we're just singing along to it.
Information about the future.
Nice. I did intentionally want to keep this video a little bit more simple than the Iron Man one. That was supposed to be a big cheesy love ballad, so I wanted a big cheesy video with lots of big camera moves and sweeping motions. So this one I thought was more about the characters, and the performance of seeing Marty and Doc singing with each other just seemed really hilarious. So I tried to keep the shooting of it quite simple.
Information about the future. This is
Just saw my own reflection.
So once we were done with the clock tower, we moved outside and shot a bunch of stuff in the street. We set up some lights and got a little light on the camera. There's a cool setup where me and Doc are just standing in the street and we're singing right at each other. We wanted to get the camera kind of spinning around us.
This is a homemade sort of Steadicam rig that I made a long time ago. Nice and heavy, got sort of a nice weight at the bottom, so we're gonna attach the camera to the top, and you can run around without it shaking a bunch.
So Ben's got to hold it like with one hand, and he's running around in a big circle while we're singing at each other. And then we busted out the jib, which we don't get to use a lot. That's a great crane that you can get some great up and down motions with the camera. It's fun using that thing, I love it. So we set that up out in the street, got some really cool shots with that. Okay, so it is around 10:30 at night, and I think we just finished shooting. There's a lot of miscellaneous stuff to do out in the street, but I think we finished the last shot, so I'll find out tomorrow when I start editing it. So normally we're doing shot-for-shot recreations, which means the editing is pretty straightforward. We're just picking the best takes and matching it as close as we can. But an original video like this, you really have to take a different approach to the editing, of course. We've got lots of different takes to choose from. Sometimes, you know, the same verse or the same line from the song has been shot many different times, maybe in front of the clock tower, maybe outside, maybe with the jib.
Great Scott! Great Scott!
So you have to look at every single take and find a good flow for the whole thing and make sure you have a really good pacing and you feel like you're utilizing all the footage that you got and using the best takes of each thing. So it's kind of a challenge to really decide on which ones you want to use because you've got so many good options, hopefully, if you shot it right. In our original homemade Back to the Future scene, we did a lot of miniature stuff. So this time, between the singing of Doc and Marty, I was able to use some of that footage. So it was fun to kind of reuse that and weave it into the music video.
Information about the future is extremely dangerous.
If you don't listen to me, you will die.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
We'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Is this gonna work out or not? We don't know.
So I'm mostly just singing that way. So
Okay,
yeah.
The string lights that we used for the flux capacitor are now attached to the Daily Planet from our Superman scene. So the Daily Planet is going in the car too. And this is the nightmare I have. I wake up and go, we forgot that shot.
We have to go back in time.
Exactly.
Because you understand, Dustin.
It's getting cozy up in here.
Back to the Future machine is here. I can see and it's perfectly clear.
Yeah, can I get a tater tot burger and an apple? Yeah, you hold the wheel. We're driving.
Fly me to the moon and let me sing amongst the stars. We're going to the future and we ain't going back because we're on a one-way track.
We have to do the Bollywood.
That's a wrap. And that is how we made our homemade Back to the Future song and music video. I really hope you liked it. It's my favorite movie, so it's sort of a passion project for me. Let me know what other songs you might want to see from movies that we could write. And don't forget to check out the sing-along. We have the track with just the music that you can sing your own version of the song to with your friend who can do a Doc Brown impression. And come back to CineFix every Tuesday for more homemade movies.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Will this work out or not? I've said this line over 400 times now.